This is the Louie T Network.
In the Lab Room.
Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here to break down the matchup between the 0-2 New York Giants and the 0-2 Carolina Panthers. Their 0-2 looked a little different than the Giants' 0-2. The Panthers had two games. They could have been easily 2-0 on the season. They're still learning how to win and how to close football games out. And so they let some games slip away that they probably should have won. Vice versa, you look at the Giants, and they've self-destructed in two games to start this season with turnovers and penalties, and Eli Manning already throwing 7 interceptions coming into this game. He had struggled. David Wilson, the running back, they had turned the running back position over to him. He had fumbled the football, and so they had issues holding on to the football coming into this game. But this game was an onslaught. Simply put, this was a good old-fashioned passionate ass whooping, and the Giants got their shoes, coat, and hat taken. No, you can't have your hat back. The Panthers simply took the Giants to school, dominated them in every facet of the game. And look, this Panthers defense is good. I've already said this numerous times. This Panthers defense is for real. And the Giants found that out within the first quarter and a play. They already had 5 sacks, and the Giants only had 11 total yards in the football game. And at the half, the Giants were being dominated. If not for a couple of Panther miscues early in this game, a muff punt that touched a Panthers player recovered by the Giants, and then Cam Newton interception. If not for those miscues, this game could have been extremely ugly in the first half instead of it getting out of control in the second. So this Giants football team is struggling right now, and they've done this before. Last year, they got a shellacking at the hands of Atlanta. They were blanked in that game as well, and this was good for the Panthers. Let's talk about the Panthers here for a second, because they dominated the Giants, and they needed a game like this. They needed to go out and win a football game. Now, they made some mistakes in this game. They had a lot of penalties, a lot of things that they can clean up. They had some turnovers in this game, so they've got some things that they can point to say, hey, we need to clean this up. But as a football team, they played well. Ted Ginn Jr. performed well in this game, catching the football. You got over 100 yards rushing out of your running back position with D'Angelo Williams. Cam Newton sprinkled in a little bit of running too. I thought they did a good job of managing the offense in this game, sprinkled in some Tolbert when it was necessary. And so I thought that offensively they looked better. There's still some room for improvement on the offensive end, however, but if they can just not turn it over, and they turned it over in this game, and they got lucky because the Giants stunk it up, and they had a huge penalty that brought back a David Wilson touchdown that probably would have changed the complexion of this game. And they go from going into the end zone and tying it up at 7 to having that play be called back, to getting sacked, to not even getting any points after they miss a field goal after the Cam Newton interception. So the Giants made mistakes of their own, but give credit where credit is due. This Carolina Panthers defense was ferocious in this game. They got after Eli Manning. They made him uncomfortable. I mean, he was checking down to backs before he even needed to in this game because he was so uncomfortable, because he was seeing ghosts. I see Panther defensive ends. Yeah, he was seeing defensive ends, defensive tackles, you name it. He was seeing it because they were coming after him. And so this Panthers offense has to get better. But in the meantime, if they can just not turn it over, sustain offense, and score a little bit of points, this defense will take care of the rest. This is a good Carolina Panthers football team, a really good defense. And if they can stop shooting themselves in the foot, and if they can start figuring out how to end football games, this could be a dangerous team. You look at the Giants. Man, oh man, was this a bad performance or what? There's not much you can hang your hat on in this football game and take it to next week. And you got a tough 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs team on the horizon. And so it doesn't get much easier for this New York Giants football team. You start 0-3. It does not look good. Eli Manning has not been sharp at all to start this season. Your running game is in shambles right now. This defense was shredded by Carolina. This defense was shredded by Peyton Manning. This defense was shredded by Tony Romo. This Giants team is in disarray. And so this game does not help your psyche if you're a Giants fan, if you're a Giants player, the coaching staff. The Giants right now are out of sorts. And I don't know what they're going to do to try to rectify this situation, but right now, this Giants team is in trouble. And hats off to the Panthers for going out and getting it done as they wallop the New York Giants 38-0. Panthers get their first victory of the season. They go to 1-2. Meanwhile, the Giants are struggling, looking for answers. They're now 0-3 on the season. And so, thank you for joining me here in the lab room. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. I'll continue to wrap up the Sunday games here on this program. Stay tuned as I upload more videos on the rest of the games on Sunday. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one. Like the content? Want more? Sub up.
In the Lab